The Bus Stop of the Future project is a collaborative project between USW, UTS and the University of Sydney, and is a part of an alliance supported by the Australian Research Council, funding and industry partners, ARUP Engineering, Grimshaw Architects, City of Sydney, Ministry for Transport and Sydney Rail. Using digital fabrication methods such as CNC milling, laser cutting and 3D printing, the aim of the project is to fabricate a full-scale working prototype of the bus stop design, which is to be presented as part of the Sydney Design Week this August 2014. For our presentation, we've decided to focus on planning as it is a major aspect of this project. For such a complex project like this, the initial planning stages are really important. Planning allows us to set everything out on the table for us to look at and let us see where we need to get and the steps we need to take to get there.
Time management in particular is an area where planning becomes very useful. With a set due date for the project, planning lets us manage our time wisely so that we don't spend too much time on one particular task when another task needs much more attention. It's very easy to lose track of how time in a project, and if left unchecked, you could end up spending much time on a minor task, leaving you with almost no time to spend on other more important areas. One way to work around the problem is to use a Gantt chart, which is a really useful way of visually planning out the amount of time that's allowed to be spent on one particular task. It also gives everyone an idea of how much time and effort we need to spend on a particular milestone.
Project plans are another useful planning tool. They establish any and all necessary steps that need to be done in sequential order during the project. This helps avoid redundancies by focusing the project on the next step rather than being unguided enablers. Risk management is also another important planning tool to have during projects. Things always go wrong in any kind of project, and it's important to have contingency plans to safeguard or at least minimize any potential negative impacts for the project, whether it be material setbacks, the loss of files, or the unavailability of team members.
For this project, we have needed to be extra careful with how long construction or fabrication takes, how long it takes for materials to arrive, and a number of other time-consuming factors. The time it takes to fabricate pieces can be extremely deceptive, especially with this particular bus stop design. There are in excess of 100 pieces that need to be fabricated, and about 40 of them are unique. The time it takes for a machine to physically cut out the pieces will be time-consuming, but there are also other factors that need to be taken into account, like how a different file will need to be opened every time a new piece needs to be cut, or the time it takes to physically load and unload a piece onto the machine. What was initially thought to be 2 minutes to fabricate a piece would easily end up being 10 minutes per piece, which is another reason why careful planning is so important.